Recently, the new SpongeBob movie, Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie, just came out on Netflix. And earlier this year, this movie got leaked on Twitter in late January. While this was crazy, I wasn't able to see the full movie because Paramount took it down. But all I knew was that people did not like it and said it was awful. And after watching it, I can completely understand where they are coming from. Before talking about the movie itself, I want to talk about what I liked from the movie, which isn't much, but the voice acting was pretty good, the animation was decent, but not as polished as Sponge on the Run, because this is a straight-to-streaming movie, so I understand. Besides that, this movie is not very good. So, what is the movie about? Well, it's about Bikini Bottom getting scooped up from the sea and being taken away from a company called Boots that apparently Sandy works for, and it's up to Sandy and SpongeBob to save Bikini Bottom and bring it back to the sea. This movie has a lot of problems, and one of those problems is not letting the viewer just take a breather to understand what is happening and what to focus on in the movie, because the movie doesn't know when to shut up, and it keeps on going with people talking and annoying sound effects. Now I get it, SpongeBob is a very energetic show and this is targeted towards kids, especially this movie, but it gets annoying very fast. What's weird is that Sandy is now a flying squirrel, despite in the first episode of the show she's clearly a land squirrel. So I don't understand why this was a change made. So this movie introduces Sandy's family members, which in concept is actually a cool idea, but in execution they are barely used until like the end of the movie, and we learn very little about them besides them just being circus squirrels, and that's it. Throughout the movie it takes place in Texas, which is where Sandy came from. Let's just say that Texas is pretty boring and there's nothing to explore with it. Just deserts, a water park, and I guess if you want to include it, a laboratory. Which includes the worst acting I have ever seen in a movie. Now, I don't like complaining about actors, but man, their performances were just terrible. And I haven't even gotten to the main villain of the movie yet, whose name is Tsunami. Yeah, very clever, guys. So the reason why she scooped up Bikini Bottom is so she can turn everyone into like toys and sell them to kids. And her flashback scene is just terrible, especially with the VFX. It just looks awful, especially with the actress's face just being on top of some kid's body. Especially at the end of the movie where she reveals to have a robot body, which just looks awful. The VFX throughout the entire movie just looks terrible and cheap. Now, there are some questionable scenes in this movie, like SpongeBob smelling crap and enjoying it. There's a scene where they come across rattlesnakes that are cowboys, and Sandy gets infected by one of them, and she becomes inflated. Yes, this is a real scene. And lastly, I don't even want to show this one, but it's a scene where SpongeBob is at the water park and he's under the pool and he starts tickling people's feet and starts laughing. Bro became Freak Bob, everybody. So yeah, this movie's pretty terrible. It has a fun concept, but in execution, it just falls flat on its face. All the jokes aren't funny. The characters are annoying without a scene just being straight up in your face. It's just not fun. There's barely anything to compliment about this movie, and that's why it deserves the score of a 2 out of 10. All I can say is that I hope that the Plankton movie that comes out next year will be good. Same goes with the other SpongeBob movie that's coming out in theaters, Suits for SquarePants, but only time will tell. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.